Beautiful watchers, this film is not an adaptation. It's not even trying to be. It's not even in name only. The film's about the author and part of the way he came to write the book, so it'd be like saying Shakespeare in Love's an adaptation. It's just not, I'm sorry. I'm also not sure why you'd think I'd want to watch it. I mean, I didn't like the original Harry Potter movies. Why would I want to see a spin-off by the same director? Sorry guys, I got better shit to do. Well, I really liked it. Okay, so I've never personally done a review of a movie that's still in cinemas before, but I understand the procedure is to start with the vague stuff first and then throw up a spoiler warning for those who haven't seen the film yet. Is that correct? Okay then. I've known for many years that the Harry Potter films never really did justice to the books. However, it was only today that I learned that the books were kind of holding the films back. Yes, it turns out that making a film to be a film and not a warped recreation of a fundamentally different medium of storytelling results in a much more cohesive finished product. Who the fuck knew? Free from the shackles of having to stick to a story that stretched out over a year and part of an overarching arc of 7 installments, the film feels interesting and well paced in a way that the main series just couldn't be. The film makes sure you can't miss the fact that J.K. Rowling wrote it in the credits, but I don't really feel we needed to be told. This has all the hallmarks of her work. And despite my complaints about their early performances, I've actually grown just a little fond of most of the cast of the Harry Potter movies, so it pains me to say it was nice to be able to focus on a group of actors with some fucking charisma for once. I'm given to understand that not everyone was super happy with the actors in this movie, but personally, I don't know, I just really like them. Lovable Twit isn't actually as easy a charm to master as you might think, but Eddie Redmayne managed to pull it off in my opinion. I was a little concerned at one point that he was becoming just a little bit too much like Matthew Smith's Doctor Who, but he pulled it back from that enough to satisfy me. I don't care what you say, Dan Fogler was a delight in this. His humour was really dumb, but it made me laugh. What more can you ask for? Okay, so Americans, I hope you don't get too offended by this, but you kind of have a reputation with the rest of the world for needing to be the centre of attention all the time. You're perceived as the Kanye West of countries, I'm afraid. Taking Harry Potter, the franchise, not the person, something so famously and quintessentially British, and setting the story in New York kind of plays into that reputation. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the story, but let's face it, it didn't have to be set in America, did it? A few tweaks to it here and there, and it could have been anywhere in the world. But no, you just couldn't let Britain have this one thing, could you? You know, I think I've come up with a good bit of advice for people who want to enjoy a movie with lots of CGI in it. Try not to look at the actor's eyes, because that will kill your suspension of disbelief in no time. It doesn't matter how much the technology advances or how well they do the special effects, you'll always notice that the actors are not quite looking where they're supposed to be looking, because no matter how many tennis balls you glue to a stuntman, what's on screen in the finished piece will never be quite in the same position. I must confess, I got a little bit confused towards the end, because I was under the misconception that all 5 of the new spin-off movies were going to be sequels to Fantastic Beasts, so I was expecting this to be some big setup movie with no real conclusion, but no, the story has very much a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's entirely capable of standing up on its own, so I'm guessing what they're doing is they're setting up some sort of Marvel Universe kind of thing, where all the movies are connected and there'll be crossovers, but they're all separate stories. So yes, if you are on the fence about seeing it, because of that you have nothing to worry about. There's no cliffhangers here. There was a little bit of future movie baiting, but I'll come back to that in a second. Hang on, let me just quickly do the thing. No complaining if you stick around. The opening to this movie caught me off guard a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, okay, Fantastic Beasts, let's see some pretty unicorns, la la la. Nope, 6 men were just disintegrated by Grindelwald, holy shit. Also, wow, Yates really loves that giant CGI newspaper opening, doesn't he? I mean, I get it, it's a dramatic transition and an effective plot dump, it's like porn to a director. It also seems that Yates at least kept hold of all the beautiful colours that he didn't use in Half-Blood Prince and used them here. It's especially obvious when they first go down into the suitcase and they walk around all the different environments he's created for its creatures, and it's like, holy shit, a movie about the glories of magic can have more colours in it than grey, black and brown. Okay, I'm pretty sure Colin Farrell was a Jedi as well as a wizard in this, because every 5 fucking minutes he was like, whoosh, vroom, In fact, I think it's safe to say that they have thrown all of the rules about how magic works in the Harry Potter universe out of the window in this, even compared to the original Harry Potter movies. I mean, there's apparently just a spell you can do that changes your clothes into an evening dress. I mean, what is that, transfiguration? And, I mean, his suitcase is so OP, it's like an entire world inside a suitcase. That's like top-level magic, which this guy's just done casually, and there's apparently a spell you can do with just a wave of your wand that can repair a fucking skyscraper. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Reparo spell wouldn't stretch to that, I'm sorry. I think we all just have to accept that from now on the rules of magic are just going to be whatever they want it to be in these films. I thought it was a bit of a risk having two completely separate storylines in this film, because you had Scarmander and his posse trying to sort out the whole escaped magical beast thing, but then you also had the Obscura storyline with Greaves and his lot going on at the same time, and I mean, they sort of linked and tied together at the end, but not really. I mean, I didn't mind it so much, but if that bothered you, that's totes fair. Did anyone else fucking shit their pants when they saw how American wizards execute people? I mean, fuck! Okay, what they have is they have this massive swimming pool, which is, like, half filled with pensive, and half filled with this uber-powerful acid that burns you away to nothing. And what they do is they draw out some really happy childhood memories from your head and they put it in the pool, so you sort of get hypnotized by it, and you willingly let them put you in this chair and smile as you're lowered into it. It's like, oh! I definitely needed fresh robes when that witch was like, "It don't hurt none, sweetie. Doesn't that look nice? Wouldn't you like to get in there?" Oh yes, and more evidence towards the fuck the whole rules of magic thing. I did like how the portly American got stuck trying to get through the door of the suitcase, but the giant Eurumpant, the hippo the size of a bus, could be sucked through no problem. Okay, so the big non-shocker, Greaves, Colin Farrell's character, was Grindelwald all along. I mean, they didn't put one iota of effort into making this not super obvious. I mean, he has a Hallows necklace sticking out of his pocket right from the start of the movie. Did anyone else get a serious Scooby-Doo vibe from his big reveal? I mean, he was in restraints and surrounded by the plucky underdogs that brought him down and the police, and they were like, now to see who you really are, Revelio! Jinkies! It's Old Man Grindelwald! Like, holy shit, Scoob! Or to be more accurate, I suppose I should be saying Jinkies, it's Old Man Johnny Depp, and he looks stupid as fuck. Yes, I kind of wish they were sticking with Farrell, to be completely honest. I mean, he was a genuinely intimidating villain up until this point, and I don't know what they were doing with Depp's look, but I almost laughed out loud when he finally raised his head, and you saw the blonde mustache and the silly eye. I mean, it's like he's a Batman villain now. It completely ruined the moment for me. I lost all sense of aware that Farrell had built up for this character. Depp is the sequel baiting I was referring to earlier, because you don't get an actor like him to be in your movie for 30 seconds if you're not setting up another film where he's going to be the centre of attention. You just don't. Despite what I said earlier, I do have to grudgingly admit that it was kind of interesting seeing the differences between British wizard culture and American wizard culture. I also did think it was kind of fascinating that the 1920s wizards are still kind of just as racist as everyone else in that time period, but in a different way, because they're fine with having a black president, and they let house elves wear clothes and have jobs and let non-humans carry wands, but they flat out outlaw wizards marrying muggles, so it's like, okay, I guess as long as you have someone to hate. So, I guess that's all there is to talk about. Yes, nothing else that could possibly be of interest here. Okay, fine. Newt Scamander, the hero of the story, is a proud Hufflepuff. I should mention first of all that I only know this because the actor wrote something about it. It's not, as far as I can remember, ever directly addressed in the film. I mean, the dude wears a yellow scarf occasionally, but that's hardly definitive proof. I mean, what sort of adult wears their house colours all the time? I also know this because every time I went on one of my hilarious anti-Hufflepuff tirades, at least one or two people would post that the star of the new movie is going to be a Hufflepuff, as if that was some great comeback, to which my usual response was,
"You've known for 24 hours that an unregistered wizard set magical beasts loose in New York."
You're the guy with the case full of monsters, huh?
Whose travels first?
Yeah. I can totes believe he's a Hufflepuff. Okay, all joking aside, I just want to clarify that I don't hate Hufflepuffs. I have nothing against Hufflepuffs, aside from thinking that they're all idiots. And I'm not going to lie, Newt Scamander does nothing to dissuade me of this opinion. I mean, why would you put massive, unruly magical creatures inside a suitcase with a faulty lock on it? I mean, that thing was leaking magical creatures like a sieve. Just Why, Hufflepuff, why? And Merlin's beard, could you have picked a more generic-looking suitcase? Just put a sticker on the side or write your name in it or something. Anything. The second I saw that thing, I knew it was just a matter of time before the whole mixed-up case cliché came into play. I mean, there was virtually a countdown on the screen. Whew. Well, I suppose like every other Harry Potter story, if a Ravenclaw had been involved, all the issues would have been sorted too quickly before anyone could enjoy the tension, so whatever. Leaving aside my Hufflepuff teasing, I really would recommend this film to any Harry Potter fan, especially ones who might have been a little disappointed by another recent addition to the canon, so were possibly a bit hesitant to see it because of that. Huh. Someone should really do a review of that now that I think about it. See you soon, Muggles.